Hey, welcome back everybody. In this video we're going to go over a couple of things. I want to go through looping. So the way that you get your content onto your website is by looping. So we're going to go over that. And then also one thing that I wanted to mention real quick. So I added some styling to my website just to make it a little bit more cleaner. I put this in a container so it matches the same width as my head here, and then I also added this banner at the very top. Something that stuck out to me that I wanted to mention that's very important. There's this white bar up here. It's completely blank, but if we inspect element, we're going to see that there is a margin top of 32 pixels. Okay, if I uncheck it, then it looks great. That's what we wanted to do. However, by default, this is set here, and there's a reason why this is here. When you're logged in as WordPress administrator, there's supposed to be like a welcome user and have all of this information up here. So we don't want to see that even when we're signed in, when we're looking at our website. So the way to go about that is creating a file called functions.php. Okay, so I created the file. Let me rename it here real quick because I added this while I was uploading the other file, and I just wanted to show you why it was doing that, and so that you guys would have that as well. So there is a file called, let's see, refresh, why is it not opening up? Let's see, let's just go like this. Functions.php. Okay, so this is the one for eyes for pies. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video right here, create a video or a new file called functions.php, and then add this code, and then play the video when you're done. Okay, so what this does, it's a function. So WordPress has this file by default called functions. You can do a bunch of different things with functions that kind of make your site a little bit user-friendly. It can get kind of hairy, so I don't want to get too involved in the functions file. We're going to keep it simple. We're just going to have this function that gets rid of the header. Okay, so it just removes, as you can see, remove admin login header. We just don't want to see that. So now if we refresh our page, there we go. It's gone. It's fixed. So that was a quick thing that I wanted to mention because it's very useful to know. Okay, so far it's looking all right. Okay, it's still kind of sloppy, but it's looking pretty good. And everything is completely responsive. Okay, so the next thing that we want to go over is looping. So looping, I kind of mentioned it a couple videos ago, but looping, what that is this content here. So one of the great things about WordPress is that you can come in here and you can add some articles, type in a bunch of information, and then you have a new page created. It's wonderful. But you have this text box. Okay, so what looping does is it looks for the information in this text box and then it adds it to your site. And so that's kind of what we're going to go over for this video. There's a bunch of different things that we can do. We can loop a bunch of different calls, like the title of the article, the author, the time it was published, the category, the actual content, and then some keywords if you want to add those keywords and display them onto your website. So there's a couple of ways that we're going to go about this. So let's go ahead, let's get into brackets here. So if you're done with functions, you can go ahead and close it out. We don't need it anymore. I'll clear out some of the stuff that I don't need. Save, okay. Great. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's move on with looping this stuff. So the first thing that we're going to do, this is my style sheet. I added a couple of things while I was waiting for that video. So we don't need this content anymore. In fact, we don't need any of that. Everything that we want to write should come from WordPress. So go ahead, get into PHP. We're going to do a while tag, or a while loop. I don't know how familiar you guys are with loop tags or loop calls, but what they do is they loop through content and through iterations that you define. So WordPress luckily has a lot of this already built for us, or these functions. So all we have to do is define the while command and then have posts function. Okay, and then you're going to do a semicolon and then the post. Okay. And then we are going to go back into PHP and we're going to end while. And that is going to stop the loop. So now we're going to write down the actual what it's going to loop. Okay, so we're going to do an h2 tag. And so we're going to do a call here. So we're going to get back into PHP. And so h2, as you know, is for headings. So this is going to be the heading of the post. And then there is a WordPress called the title. You're going to call that function. Okay, brilliant. Moving on. I'm going to open up a p tag. Actually, let's do that as span. I'm going to do this as a span tag. Okay, and then you can say something like written by space, and then get back into PHP. And then the function is the author. Call that function right there. Okay, the next one, let's do time. So written on the time. And then let's go ahead and specify year. So written on, we'll just do the year for now. Span. Okay, let's see, what else? We could say the category. So you could, if you want your guys to know, you say posted in the category. I'm going to call that function, and then we want to define some stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to put a semicolon here and then a comma. And then I'm going to do a p tag here because this is where the actual content is going to come from. Okay, so watch carefully for this one. So this is the content. We're going to call it with the brackets, put the semicolon here. But inside here, we're going to do our single quotation marks and then these brackets here, and then 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. Okay, make sure that you have it just like that. And that's just going to call the content of the page. And then yeah, that should be good. So let's save it. Let's just take a look at how it looks now. Alright, so pizza post. Awesome. Written by admin on the 26th in 2006. So we just specified the year, and then it's posted in the pizza category. And it gives me a link here so I can click on this to go to the pizza categories. And this is my content. I don't have any content in there, but if I go edit that post, update it, and we can go boom. Look at that. It looks pretty good, right? There's a couple things that we could change, you know, depending on how you want this to be formatted is how you would correct it. If you want these on different lines, you can do a BR tag. You know, a lot of people do different things. We can go BR. BR. And you can do something like that. Actually, yeah, you can do a bunch of different things. You can also specify the time if you wanted to show the month or the date or the actual time. PHP time. I can't remember how it is. Let's see, the time function. Here it is. Year, month, date. So, oops, here we go. I'm going to delete the Y stands for year, so you can go like that. Let's see how that looks. 7:30 a.m. All right, it's almost 2 a.m., so that's not right. Let's see. There should be actual PHP. Let me find it. Hold on. Okay, I figured it out. New mistake. I didn't put it in quotation marks. So I have the year, month, day. So that's how it works. Also, it's a really good, the time function is really good for your footer. Remember that we created a footer page, and a lot of people surprisingly don't do this, but you're supposed to have like a, at the bottom you'll have like your copyright. But a lot of people don't do this, which is very surprising. But you can add the date here, and I don't know why people don't do this. But if I add that, come down here. Let's see, let me look at this. Okay, sorry, it's 2 a.m. Echo date function, if you're just going to use that, but then you can put the year. And a lot of people don't do that, surprisingly. If you look at a lot of websites, you'll see that the copyright's not updated for like 1 or 2 years. But if you use this function, it'll update right at the beginning of the new year, and you don't have to go back and change it automatically. I actually worked somewhere where they didn't do that, and they were updating it manually. So you'll see in my footer that automatically it has the copyright on there. Nothing fancy, I still need to format it, but you get the gist. So you can format this any way you want. You can have it all in one line. You can say whatever you want here. This does say admin, and that's because me as a user, I am admin. If you wanted that to be your name, you'd have to go to users, create a new user, and then publish an article under that user's name. So you can't really change that. It's based on who wrote it. So yeah, that is this video doing looping, and you're going to use this for all of the templates that you use, and it's just going to loop all of your content here. And so stick around for the next video. We're going to be getting into a little bit more stuff. Let's see what we have here. We have looping the page. All right, we're going to work on setting your home page and then creating another template. So stick around for that. Again, like, subscribe, share with your friends, do all that good stuff.